Hello, my brothers and sisters. This is part 21, and we're going to be talking about Elijah tonight. And Elijah was a very important person in the Bible. He had a personal relationship with God. And here again, I examine Elijah's lifestyle, the way he carried himself. But most of all, I examine his prayer life. Elijah had a powerful prayer life. It wasn't nothing like Daniel's prayer life. Daniel had a fervent prayer life. But Elijah had a prayer life that it was like Jesus' prayer life. When he prayed, God answered. And there was times when Elijah worked miracles, and he didn't even ask the Lord. He just said it. And the mountain was moved for Elijah. It happened right then. So Elijah's life really is not like almost a pattern after Jesus' life. But Elijah had a lot of fear in him as well. Jesus didn't. But as far as him being obedient to God, doing what God said do, he was Johnny on the spot. He did it right then and there. And I'm going to read a small summary about Elijah, just to give you a few details about Elijah's life. But Elijah did have a personal relationship with God, and God had a personal relationship with him. And this is what it's all about, my brothers and sisters, having a personal relationship with God. That's why God has had me to talk on nothing but relationship. His relationship between the people on earth that he was in contact with, that he talked to personally, so that you can get a clear understanding of how he wants to talk to you as well. God talks to people right today, whether it be in a small, still voice, whether it come through thunder, whether it come through lightning, he still speaks. Whether it come through prophecy, whether it come through vision or dreams, God still speaks today. So I'm going to read a brief summary of what we're talking about, Elijah. And it says, who was Elijah in the Bible? And the prophet Elijah is one of the most interesting and colorful people in the Bible. And God used him during an important time in Elijah's history to oppress the wicked king and bring revival to the land. Elijah's ministry marked the beginning of the end of Baal worship in in Israel. Elijah's life was filled with turmoil. Can you imagine that? Turmoil. And we just afraid of a little earthquake. At times he was bold and deceived. And at other times fearful and tentative. He alternately demonstrated victory and defeat, followed by recovery. Elijah knew both the power of God and the depths of deception. Elijah understood what the power of God meant. He understood God's power. He knew how powerful God was. He knew God could move mountains. He knew he could do anything. He understood that concept. And the depths of deception, he understood that as well. Because he knew Satan was a very good deceiver, and he always wanted to deceive many people in Israel, as he often did. Elijah, a prophet of God, was named, which name means "My God is the Lord." Came from Tishba in Gilead, but nothing is known of his family or birth. We first meet Elijah in 1 Kings 17:1, when he suddenly appeared to challenge Ahab, which was King Ahab. That's who the king was. He was an evil king who ruled the northern kingdom from 1874 to 1823, which was 21 years. Elijah prophesies a drought, prophesies a drought back to come upon the whole land, and consequences for Ahab's evil. See, a lot of times, understand this, it's because who's in charge? What king is in charge? What president is in charge? That God will allow evil to come upon the world. Look at this pandemic. There's so much evil that's in this presidency that's going on right now. So much evil. God has no other choice but bring evil upon this earth. Allow Satan to do what he wants to do. See, God used Satan to do whatever dirty work that needs to be done. And Satan's going to do it because that's what he loves to do. That's what he loves to do. He don't care who it is. He will use you. So, understand why some things happen on this earth. When it gets, and that's why God said, and he will destroy this. He won't destroy it by water this time, but he'll destroy it by fire. Look at all the fires that's happening in the United States right now. All these fires, boom, just popping up just like that. Right now, my city is filled with smoke right now. We very seldom can go outside. We have to stay inside all day long. All day long. It's like being locked up in prison. I understand what prisoners feel like now. Not totally understand what it feels like, but I understand when it's so much smoke outside, you can't go outside and breathe. You need to stay in the house. And being locked up all day, the next day, and the next day, and the next day, yeah, I feel like a prisoner. But God has control over everything. And that's who I put all my faith and trust in, God. And I will continue to do that. Warning by God, Elijah hides near the brook Cherith, where he is fed by ravens. See, God always looks after you. I don't care. Sometimes we can't be too choosy who we get our food for. Yesterday, I was at the pizza place, and this homeless guy, he was standing there eating out the trash can. Eating out the trash can. I feel so sorry for him. And so me and my friend, we put some money together and we gave him, I think it was like $13 so he can get. And I told him, I was here, man, go find yourself something to eat. Eat something good today. He was so happy. And where he went and did with it, I don't know. But I hope and pray that he went and got some food with it. As the drought and famine in the land deepened, Elijah met with a widow in a neighboring country. And through her obedience to Elijah's request, God provided food enough for Elijah, the woman, and her son. Miraculously, the widow barrel of flour and jar of oil never ran out. Because why? She was with the anointed one. She was with the true man of God. Matter of fact, Elijah was there several days. And just so happened, her son died, her only son. And she blamed Elijah for it. And Elijah went outside and prayed to God. And when he went back in, the son was alive. And you know what the woman said? You must be a prophet of God. Because only God can do that. And she respected him ever since. But sometimes you have to do things out of the ordinary just to show people, so that people can believe that there is a God. And Elijah was one of them that could do these miracles. One time he came up against an army, and he got in the building. The army was going to destroy Elijah. And he went in, and then he spoke to the Lord. And he came back out and raised his hand and spoke against the army. Then all of a sudden, an army of the Lord, angels came down and defended Elijah. See, that's why I say you have to be careful about messing with God's people. Be very careful who you're messing with. It may be that one that's really anointed and that's really got a real personal relationship with God. Don't fall in the hands of an angry God, messing with God's people. No, his true people now. The people that's sold out and full of love, that's full of, that's filled with humbleness, mercy, gentleness, long suffering, patience. Those are the people. You don't want to mess with them. Leave them alone. I give you good advice. Leave them alone. You can find that in 1 Kings 17, 8 through 16. The lesson for the believer is that if we walk in fellowship with the Lord and obey him, we will be open to his will. And when we are in God's will, he fulfills all of our needs. His mercy to us never runs short. Same thing with Elijah. It never ran short. God always protects him, always made sure he had something to eat. Always. He'll do you the same way. He's been doing it, matter of fact, ever since you've been born. It says we next see Elijah as the central character in a face off with the prophets of the false god Babel on Mount Carmel. 1 Kings 18, 17 through 40. Read that. Just read the whole chapter, and you'll find some interesting things in there that happen. The prophets of Babel call upon their God all day long to rain fire from heaven to no avail. That's what false prophets do. You can pray to God all you want to. You don't get nothing done. Nothing at all. But let a real man step up to the plate. Let him pray. You're going to see something get done. This is one thing about Elijah. When he prayed, like I said, things happen. Things happen miraculously, like right here. And that's why you need to read the whole chapter 18. Read that whole chapter. It'll tell you all about this story. Then Elijah built an altar of stones, digs a ditch around it. Look at Elijah now. This is one thing that was funny about Elijah too. When they was praying for God to rain down fire, it was so funny. He was picking at them. Don't your God hear you? He was just picking at them. What's wrong, fellas? Don't God hit over 400 prophets now? Don't your God hear you? Making fun of him. Boy, I tell you, because he knew he was praying to the wrong God. They won't get nothing done. Elijah knew that, understood that. They didn't, but Elijah did. They were speaking to the wrong God. The devil they were speaking to. The devil ain't gonna come help you. He will leave you and not help you. That's what the devil gonna do. He gonna leave you standing. What was that? He dug a ditch and then put a sacrifice on the top of the wood and called for water to be poured over this sacrifice. 3 times Elijah did that. 3 times he had water poured all over the sacrifice. Just to show them, oh, you know what? I saw what you did. But guess what? I'm going to pour water over it. I'm going to show you now what God will do. He still made fun of him. Elijah called upon God, and God sent fire down from heaven. My God, sent fire down from heaven, burned the sacrifice, the wood, and the stones. Burnt up everything. Lift up the water in the ditch. God proved he was more powerful than false gods. It was then that Elijah and the people killed all of the prophets, all of the false prophets of Baal. In comparison with God's command in Deuteronomy 13:5. Oh my God. But see, that's what happens. God is the all-knowing, all-powerful God. And when you go up against someone like God, it's just a total mistake. You won't recover from it because you're going down the road of destruction. God says you either gonna serve him or you're gonna serve the devil. You choose, but I got a place for each one to go. You can either choose hell or you can choose heaven. And that's just how simple it is. Elijah flees. Now see, here's what happened after this is in 1 Kings 7:19, 1-20. And after Elijah killed all his enemies, then news gets to Ahab and the Queen of Sheba. So the Queen of Sheba was off. You know what I mean? But anyway, she was hot. She was hot to be fit. And you know what they always say, man, a woman's wrath is a man's scorn. So look out, Elijah, because this woman is ticked off. She's coming to get you. Number 1 says, when Ahab got home, he told Jezebel everything Elijah had done, including the way he had killed all the prophets of Baal. Number 2, so Jezebel sent a message to Elijah. May the God strike me. And sometimes you gotta watch what you say. May the God strike me, because that's just what's gonna happen. When she faced up against Elijah, that's just what's gonna happen. God is gonna strike her. So, may the God strike me and even kill me, if by this time tomorrow I have not killed you just as you killed them. Ain't she bad? She's a bad woman. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. She bad. Okay, but not bad enough. Number 3, Elijah was afraid and feared for his life. He went to Bathsheba, the town of the town in Judah, and he left his servant there. Number 4, then he went on alone into the wilderness, traveling all day. He sat down under a broom tree and prayed that he might die. This brother was scared. And then, I have had enough, Lord. He said, I've had enough. Take my life. For I am no better than my ancestors who have already died. And there are so many times when you will come to a point in your life and you're ready to give up. But I tell you, don't give up. It may seem like something, ain't nothing gonna never come get right in your life again, but it will if you be patient. If you just wait on God, He will restore you like He did Job. He restored Job. Job was very patient. Job just want to understand, am I doing wrong in my life? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be? You see? All right, and then number 5 says, then he laid down and slept up under the broom tree. But as he was sleeping, an angel touched him and told him, "Get up and eat." An angel an angel from the Lord came and touched him. 6. See how what I mean by he had a personal relationship with God. God always was with him. He said, "I'll always be with you until the end of time." That's a true statement. True statement. But he was sleeping, and the angel touched him and told him, "Get up and eat." Number 6. He looked around, and there beside his head was some bread baked on hot stone and a jar of water. So he ate and drank and lay down again. Number 7. Then the angel of the Lord came again and touched him and said, "Get up and eat some more, or the journey ahead will be too much for you." God has a plan for you, but you must take care of yourself. No matter what you do, take care of yourself so that when God calls you to take on this journey, you can do it. You got enough energy, you got enough willpower, you got enough zeal to do so. Number 8, so he got up and ate and drank. He was always obedient with the Lord. When I read all this, you see, he was always obedient. He didn't hesitate. He didn't stray away. He just did what God said do. And the food gave him enough strength to travel 40 days and 40 nights to Mount Sinai. You see what I'm saying? He didn't know he had to go that far. He didn't know where the Lord was going to send him, but God made sure he had enough food to where it would last him for 40 days and 40 nights. And he had to walk there. My God, my God. And that land was treacherous. It was hilly land, rocky land. So it wasn't like land around here smooth and plain. No, no, no. Some of it was, but the majority of it was rocky. There he came to a cave where he slept the night. The Lord speaks to Elijah, then that's and still in 1 Kings 19, 10 through 18. I'm just going to continue way that's all the way down. But this is where the Lord speaks to Elijah. But the Lord said to him, "What are you doing here, Elijah? What are you doing, man? You had a little problem, you got scared, and you ran." The Lord already knew what he was doing there. He just wanted Elijah to tell him. Like he did Adam and Eve. Who told you this? Who told you this? Are you going to tell me the truth, or are you going to tell me a lie? Which one? That's why God asked you those questions, to see what you're going to say, truthfully. Number 10 says, Elijah replied, "I have zealously served the Lord God Almighty, but the people of Israel have broken their covenant with you, torn down the altar, and killed every one of you, your prophets. I am the only one left, and now they are trying to kill me too." You see, I'm looking at Elisha when he replied. I can't help from seeing it. I have zealously served the Lord God Almighty. Isn't that an answer to give God? Lord, I have served you. I have served you, Lord. I'm trying to think where Elijah's mind was at the time when he was talking to God. Or did he really know who he was talking to? You know? Because there are ways you talk to God, you know. But I guess he knew God so well, he knew he could say that to him. I looked in Job's life, how Job spoke to God as well. And Job quickly corrected himself. Oh, I'm sorry, Lord. No, I didn't mean that. He quickly humbled himself to God. He's the only one left. You ain't the only one left. If any time the devil tell you that you're the only one left, no, you're not. God got a whole lot of more folks out there like us, just sitting back waiting. God is putting those people in positions right now to bring forth his word in true spirit, true spirit, true spirit. Right now, he's putting them to work right now. Because we're in the last days. He's putting us to work. Number 11. Go out and stand before me on the mountain, the Lord told him. And as Elijah stood there, the Lord passed by, and the mighty windstorm hit the mountain. It was such a terrible blast that the rocks were thrown loose. But the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind there was an earthquake. But the Lord was not even in the earthquake. Number 12. And after the earthquake there was a fire. But the Lord was not even in the fire either. And then it says, after that fire, there was a sound of a gentle whisper. Number 13. When Elijah heard it, he wrapped his face in his cloak and went out and stood at the entrance of the cave. And a voice said, what are you doing here, Elijah? He asked him again, what are you doing here, Elijah? First, God had to get his total attention. Now he can demonstrate to him. He can give him another job duty to do. But first he had to get his total attention off his fears. And let him know, I'm here now. You don't have to fear nobody. The big boss is in town. And can't nobody go up against me. The Lord thou God? Oh no, I don't think so. Number 13. No. And the voice number 14. He replied again. He have zealously served the Lord God Almighty. God let him say it again. What he have done, you know, to me that's bragging, you know, but maybe not. I don't know. Depends on where his mind is. But the people of Israel have broken their covenant with you, torn down your altars and killed every one of your prophets. I am the only one left, and now they are trying to kill me too. Said it twice. Like God didn't know it. Like God was on the throne sleeping. And God said he sees all, knows all, hears all. So Elijah, it's something in your brain got to click. Boop. Oh, that's right. Like Job did. Oh, that's right. My bad. I'm sorry. We have to do that sometime too. Oh, Lord, I'm sorry. You in control. You're in control, Lord. There's many times I had to do that, but God is in control. Then the Lord told him, go back the same way you came, and travel to the wilderness of Damascus. When you arrive there, anoint Hazael to be king of Aram. 16. Then anoint Jihad, grandson of Nimshel, Nimshib, to be king over Israel, and anoint Esau, son of Shaphat, from the town of Abel, Methro, to replace you as my prophet. If I don't say some of these big words right, forgive me, but don't charge it to me, just charge it to my heart. I'm trying my best. But anyway, number 17, anyone who escapes from Hazael will be killed by jihad. And those who escape jihad will be killed by Elijah. 18, yet I will preserve 7,000 others in Israel who have never bowed down to Babel or kissed him. He said, I got 7,000 more. I just want to let you know I got 7,000 more serve me just like you do. You're not the only one. And then 19 through 21, it talks about the call of Elijah. Now it's time for God to say, Elijah, it's time for you to go. So Elijah went and found Elijah, son of Shaphat, plowing a field. There were 12 teams of oxen in the field, and Elijah was plowing with the 12th team. Elijah went over to him and threw his cloak across his shoulder, and then walked away. Number 20, Elisha left the oxen standing there, ran after Elijah, and said to him, first let me go and kiss my father and my mother goodbye, and then I will go with you. Can't kind of remember the rich, let me see, was it a rich man? There was one man in the Bible, I forget, but it reminds me of that. And he wanted to go back to his father and say goodbye. And Lord, no, come and follow me. And this is what we have to do here. We have to follow God regardless. Sometimes we just can't go backward. We got to go forward. Then Elijah replied, go back, but think about what I have done to you. You can go back, but think about what I just did now. Think about, I just gave you my cloak. That means you are going to replace me. You think about what you're getting ready to do. If you go back home, you might stay there. Think about it. Think about it now. God has just given you a task, so you think about it on your way back. Think about it. 21. So Elisha returned to his, I love this part, returned to his oxen and slaughtered them. Killed them all. He used the wood from the plow to burn a fire from roasting their flesh. He had a picnic. He had a feast. He passed around the meat to the townspeople, and they all ate. Then he went with Elijah as his assistant, just to let Elijah know, I'm going back home, but I'm going to do something when I go back. I'm going to take the plow that I had with the cows, I'm going to kill all of them. I'm going to take the plow, I'm going to burn it, I'm going to cook the meat, and I'm going to give it all to the townspeople. Just to let you know, I'm not coming back. I'm done with doing, this is not my job anymore. Just like the carpenter, Jesus. I ain't doing no more carpenter work. I got to do the Lord's work. I'm not going to plow the field no more. I got to do the Lord's work. And see, this is what I had to do. I'm not going to get out there and work no more. I'm going to retire, and now I got to do the Lord's work. You see? I know what I got to do now. I got to follow Christ. You see, that's what I got to do. So then I'm going to go to the next verse and say, no, this is a different part. This is Elijah taken into heaven. This is 2 Kings 2, 1 through 14. When the Lord, okay, then number 1 says, when the Lord was about to take Elijah up to heaven in a windstorm, a whirlwind, Elijah, and Elisha were traveling from Gilgal. Number 2, Elijah said to Elisha that here, for the Lord has told me to go to Bethel. But Elisha replied, as surely as the Lord lives, and you yourself live, I will never leave you. So they went down together to Bethel. Elijah said, oh, you ain't getting away from me, bro. You done told me, remember what you told me? So I'm not letting you go. You gonna bless me just like you did Jacob. When God wrestled with Jacob, and Jacob said, I ain't gonna let you go. You gonna bless me before I let you go. And this is the same thing Elijah was saying to Elijah. No, you gonna bless me. I ain't leaving. And we're gonna find that out later. Then number 3. Then a group of prophets from Bethel came to Elijah and asked him, did you know that the Lord is going to take your master away from you today? Of course I know. That's what Elijah said. Of course I know. Elijah answered, but be quick about it. But be quiet about it. Don't tell nobody. Just be quiet about it. Number 4. Then Elijah said to Elisha, stay here, for the Lord has told me to go down to Jericho. But Elisha replied again, as surely as the Lord lives, and you yourself live, I will never leave you. So they went together to Jericho. 5. Number 5. Then the group of the prophets of Jericho came to Elijah and Elisha and asked him, did you know that the Lord is going to take your master away from you today? Of course I know. Elijah answered, but he said, no. But be quiet about it, please. Number 6. Then Elijah said to Elisha, stay here, for the Lord has told me to go down to the Jordan River. That's the 3rd time he tried to pull that trick on Elisha. But again, Elijah replied, as surely as the Lord lives and you yourself live, I will never leave you. So they went on together. Elijah is not turning Elijah loose. And that's how we got to be. We got to hold on to Jesus Christ and don't turn him loose. Stick with him thick and thin. Stick with him. He's not going to turn you loose. Trust me. You get all you can get out of him. I'm serious. Get all you can get. Number 7 says, 50 men from the group of the prophets also went and watched from the distance of Elijah and Elisha stopped beside the Jordan River. Number 8, then Elijah folded his cloak together and struck the water with it. The river divided, and the 2 of them went across on dry land. I mean, you see how powerful Elijah was? God gave that man so much power. He raised the dead just by Speaking to the Lord, he raised the dead. Now he's going to spread the Jordan River with just a stroke of his cloak. Just like that. Boom. Now, who wouldn't follow a man like that or believe a man like that? Number 9. Then they came to the other side. Elijah said to Elisha, tell me what I can do for you before I am taken away. Tell me what I can do for you. And Elijah replied, please let me inherit a double share of your spirit and become your successor. Elisha wanted a double portion. One portion just wasn't good enough for him. I need a double portion. Because I want to do mightier than what you did. That's what Jesus told his disciples. That when I go away, he's going to send a comforter. And you will do more than what I did. That's what Jesus told his disciples. You're going to do everything better than him. Number 10. You have asked a difficult thing. Elijah replied, if you see me when I am taken from you, then you will get your request. But if not, then you won't. Number 11. As they were walking around and talking, suddenly a chariot of fire appeared, drawn by horses of fire. Chariot of fire, horses of fire. It drove between the two men, separated them, and Elijah was carried by a whirlwind into heaven. Number 12, Elijah saw it and called out, my father, I see the chariot and chariots of Israel. And as they disappear from sight, Elijah tore his clothes and in despair. Number 13, Elijah picked up Elijah's cloak, which had fallen when he was taken up. Then Elisha returned to the bank of the Jordan River. Number 14, and he stroked the water with Elijah's cloak and cried out, where is the Lord, that God of Elijah? Then the river divided. Elijah went across. He had the same power. Elijah gave him the same power, double portion, than he had. So Elisha was happy. And to conclude this Elijah story, because Elijah and Elijah was friends. They had a personal relationship with each other and with God. They obeyed, they listened to God. It's funny how a lot of the people in the Bible that were personal relationship with God, they weren't no politicians. They weren't no real rich people except for one, Elijah. God made them wealthy. Job, God made them wealthy. And these are people that just submitted themselves humbly and meekly and just believed God. Just believed in God. But the conclusion, the Lord blesses, like he always does. If you live right, he will bless you. You just got to be patient and wait on it. That's all. As was true for Elijah, when we focus on the turmoil of life in the world, we can get our eyes off of the Lord and become discouraged. God does display himself in mighty works of power and judgment, such as wind, fire, and earthquakes. But he also relates with us intimately and personally. You see, God relates with us intimately and personally. He loves intimacy. And he loved to be personal. Such as in the quiet whisper, God meets our physical needs, encourages us to examine our own thoughts and behaviors. That's all God does. That's all God requests. Examine our thoughts and our own behaviors. Not nobody else's, but ours. But ours. Instructing us in how to proceed. And assure us that we are not alone. We're not alone. It's everybody hurting. Everybody going through. We just got to pray for. We got to pray for them like Elijah did. Like Daniel did. We got to pray for them. When we are attentive to God's voice and walking in obedience to his word, we can find encouragement, victory, and reward. Elijah struggled with typical human fatalities, yet he was used mightily of God. It may not be through such obvious, miraculous displays of might, but if we are yielding to him, God can use us powerfully for his kingdom purpose. God can use us mightily for his kingdom purpose. That's what it's all about. God want to use us for his kingdom purpose, people. My people that's called by his name, you only humble yourselves and pray. He said, I'll heal this land. He'll heal Black Lives Matter. He will heal this election. He will heal this pandemic. And another one jumped in there. He will heal these fires that's covering several states in the United States right now. Fire everywhere. We full of them right now. LA, full of smoke down there. And over on the East Coast, tornadoes coming right now, tonight. They're going to hit the coast over there. 6 of them going to hit the coast. I just talked to my friend back there in North Carolina right now. And he's, man, we got 6 storms coming tonight. They get ready to go tear that side of the coast up. But only God can heal this nation if we humble ourselves and pray. And we seek his face. Only he can do that. My fellow brothers and sisters, I plead to you for the mercy and from the mercy of God's throne. Humble yourselves and pray. Come back to God. Live for him. Love him. Cherish him. And no other God but him. And he will bless you. Trust me, he will bless you. I know he did it for me. Take care. And we will see each other again. God bless, and I love you.